you're selling on Amazon, then you've probably heard of a Section 3. And if you're not sure what that is, well, then you need to watch this video. So there's different types of Section 3s, but I got hit with the absolute worst kind for multiple reasons. My Section 3 got my entire store deactivated. And what that means is Amazon holds on to all of your funds. You're not able to sell anything, and you're not able to do anything. You can't even like message seller support in certain ways. It's an absolute nightmare. So I hope this never ever happens to you, but watch this video till the end because I'm going to tell you how to protect yourself from a Section 3 and also what you can do if it happens to you. My name is Rafaela. I've been selling on Amazon for almost 3 years now, but in that time, I got deactivated with a Section 3. And that lasted 7 months. It was probably the most stressful 7 months of our lives, but we finally got through it, and I'll tell you the whole story. You'll never believe the reason we got deactivated to begin with. We just started selling on Amazon. Miles was my coach, and I joined Miles's roadmap, and I hit the ground running. We were selling anything we could find at the RA stores. We sold food, we sold gifts, we sold toys, hats, everything. And one day we walked into my girlfriend's favorite store, Bass Pro Shops, and we saw those Bass Pro hats. Put a picture of a Bass Pro hat here. Those Bass Pro hats, and we scanned them on SellerAmp, scanned them on the Amazon app, and we thought, oh my God, we found a mini gold mine because these are selling fast and they're super popular. I think they went viral on TikTok, and we just started buying out the store. We bought a ton of these hats. One day, I think it was like New Year's Day, we wake up and we've noticed we got an order of 14 hats. And we've been selling so many hats that we didn't even think twice that something is off. We thought, Christmas presents, how cool, someone bought 14 hats, one of each color. One of each color also means one of each ASIN. A few weeks later, I guess by the time the hats got delivered and the person received their hats, I was already on my trip to Egypt. I was in Egypt. I opened my phone to do my daily, let's see how my sales are going. And I noticed this big deactivated. Your store is deactivated. At first I think, don't panic. It's got to be a fluke. It's like 3 a.m. in Egypt right now. I hear all these random Egyptian sounds at the time. And then I wake up later that day and I call my girlfriend and she tells me that, no, we're deactivated and we don't know how to fix it due to 14 items that got counterfeit claims. So the person that ordered these 14 items claimed that they were counterfeit, that they were not real. Later throughout the story, you'll hear, but I found out that this buyer was actually a competing seller. So seller on seller crime is probably the worst thing you could do, which is just like, it hurts my heart that someone had to do this to kick me off the listing and get my store shut down. But it happened, and now it's like guilty until proven innocent in Amazon's land. So since I got hit with 14 violations all at once, boom, 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 on a new account that had, a decent health score, it dropped my health score pretty low and it immediately deactivated my account. So you have two levels. You have your health you have account health level, which you can deal with IP claims and counterfeit claims one by one. They dock your health about 4 points each. But then you also have a deactivation, which is a whole other level, which isn't affected by your other health claims. So it took 7 months of fighting with Amazon. And I had just started, so we sunk in a lot of money into inventory. We were doing a lot of FBM, luckily, but this was December. So this was the bulk of when we sent in and made all of our sales. I think we did like 50K in December. And we were just waiting for that big chunk of payout to come out in January, and our store gets shut down. So the funds are frozen. We can't do anything. We can't touch that money. We just see that money slowly dwindling down as something we can't touch. So we have frozen inventory, frozen money on Amazon, and you're just feeling absolutely hopeless because this was now going to replace my income or supplement it greatly, and you just feel so hopeless. So this happened in the beginning of 2025, January 2025. So again, I'm waiting for my big payout from Amazon that never comes. And I'm calling all these consulting firms, consulting companies to see if they can help with me. And they all charge $2,000 and up to help with reinstatements. And no guarantees. They don't guarantee that they can help you reinstate your account. Matter of fact, a lot of them said this is potentially a hopeless case. The reason for that is I didn't have the necessary documents to show Amazon what they wanted. So when you get complaints like deactivation, you have to show proof of what you did correctly, and you have to present that to Amazon. Okay, so in my case, what happened was when I went to the store, when I bought 20 different color hats, since they were all the same price, the person at the register took one hat and scanned it over and over. So that made the receipt look like I just bought one color of hat. So I went to show Amazon, look, I bought all these hats. They would come back and say this isn't good enough. We don't know why, other than potentially I didn't have the matching UPCs for the quantity of items I bought for the ASINs that sold. But it was just back and forth for 7 months. During that time, I was on the phone with Seller Central almost every other day. I just did not have the money to put up for like a lawyer or something to help me reinstate my account because one, there was no guarantee, and two, I just maxed out all my credit cards to buy all this stuff on Amazon. And I was hoping that it was going to sell because I bought things that I knew would sell. And now Amazon's holding all my money. So, again, it's like the worst situation you can be in if this is something you're really putting all of your money into. Um, so I decided I was just going to figure this out myself. And, there were not a lot of videos or tutorials on how to fix a deactivation like this. Um, I've had I've called Seller Central so much that I was starting to get the same account helpers on the phone. They were starting to recognize me in my story and they couldn't believe that it took so long. So, the best plan of action, now this is in 2025, so things might change by the time you watch this video, but it seems to hold true, is Amazon wants you to submit a plan of action and they want you to usually submit a new invoice. So, what a plan of action entails, it's basically like a long essay about the root cause, what happened, why it happened, and how you're responsible. They want you to admit fault and tell them what you did wrong, how you're currently fixing it, what you're going to do to fix it in the future. So if you email me, I'll send you an example of my plan of action of what got me reactivated. But it's basically like a 2-page essay of the situation, um, and how you're going to fix it. So in my case, my situation was my receipts didn't match my purchases. My receipts didn't match what I sold. And the reason for that was I wasn't being careful with my record keeping. And in the future, I'll make sure that I'm, better at it. I keep better track of my receipts. I also used gift cards to make this purchase, which made it harder to trace that I was the person buying these items. So I understand why Amazon does it. They don't want any counterfeit items on their platform. They don't want people stealing things and selling them on Amazon. So I understand why Amazon does things the way they do. It was a really big learning experience. It was very stressful. In that time, it really taught us to be resilient and to learn to pivot and figure out other ways to make money online, because obviously you can. So in that time, we opened a Walmart account and started selling there. We started listing everything we had left on hand on eBay. But we just knew that Amazon was the best route to make the most money because it had the biggest reach to people. Like anything you list, if you do your research, it sells like instantly. Um, so I was very committed to getting our account back and all the calls with Seller Central. One day I get on the phone with them. Anytime you speak to anyone in account health, they give you a completely different story of what to do. Some people will tell you to go get new receipts. Some people will tell you to buy new inventory of different products of different category. Other people will tell you to buy the same items in the same quantities. I mean, I heard it all. And what actually ended up working for me was writing a really clean plan of action and getting it submitted to a higher level. And once it got submitted for an escalation and it got approved for me to submit additional invoices, then I was able to purchase items off of Webstront, and that item provided me a clean invoice. So this was basically to prove to Amazon that I know how to source clean products. I know how to source from um, reputable sources, like from reputable suppliers. And I was on the phone with Account Health that day, and the girl on the phone sounded absolutely hopeless. She's like, "This invoice doesn't look that great. I don't think this is going to get approved." I was like, "You know what, lady? It's been 7 months. At this point, I have nothing left to lose." And it was like 10 o'clock at night. I hung up the phone with her. I went to my other dance studio business and forgot all about it. And that morning, I wake up and I check my phone, and this email pops up. And I think it was like the happiest day of our life of that that year. We got our account reinstated. Um, I cannot tell you how happy we were. We ran to the store and bought every profitable thing that we used to sell that we knew and just started listing immediately. That day, I don't remember how much funds Amazon held for 7 months, but we were finally able to get our funds unfrozen. So, things that you can do to protect your account. One, make sure you're keeping very, very clean records of your purchases. Don't just be willy nilly buying all over the place, using a bunch of different credit cards, a bunch of different gift cards, and not keeping track. You have to keep track of everything. If you buy gift cards, I recommend using the credit card that's on file with Amazon so that they can track that you purchased that gift card and that you made the purchase of those items. I even recommend, like, if you're going to buy that item, maybe take a picture of the receipt with the UPCs with your credit card. My other suggestion is when you use gift cards, make a portion of that purchase with your credit card so that it's somewhere on that receipt or invoice. That will make it easier to trace back to you, because otherwise they're just going to think you, I don't know, stole that gift card from somewhere and went on a shopping spree. So Amazon does allow gift cards, but it has to be traceable back to you. The next thing you need to do is make sure that your receipts match the quantity of what you're buying and it matches what you're selling. So you can't just go to bin stores and garage sales and grab things and sell them. They have to be reputable stores. They have to have a sourceable chain of a sourceable supply chain. Those are probably the best things you can do to protect yourself from counterfeit claims and a deactivation like mine. I'm sure there's many other ways you can get deactivated in Section 3, but this was my example. And the one thing that they told me on the phone is, as long as there's an option on Amazon to submit an appeal, you still have hope. Because I thought this case was absolutely hopeless. And finally, someone told me, as long as it says submit an appeal, there is still hope for you. If you have any questions or if you're currently in this boat, I feel you. I feel sorry for you, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way out of it. You just have to be really persistent. Another thing you can do, and I did this after the fact, it's like buying insurance, is there's several companies out there that offer help with reinstatements. One of those is being Seller Basics. You pay them a monthly service, but if anything ever happens to your account, as part of the fee, they'll help you reinstate your account for free, because this is very hard. So one, you're stressed out, you're freaked out, they're holding all your money, they're holding all your inventory. And then on top of that, now you got to figure out how to write a dissertation on getting your account reinstated. So it's very stressful. And if you can afford the professional help, or you can mitigate it by having that insurance from a company like Riverbend Consulting or Seller Basics, I highly recommend it. If this story helped you at all, even to give you a little bit of hope, I'm happy. I did my part. Make sure to follow and subscribe for more of my crazy Amazon stories. And I'll also be posting a lot of how-tos, tips, and tricks. Thank you guys so much. My name is Rafaela, and I hope to see you on socials.